anything's possible. If you try and be patient, it pays off while you're waiting. The seeds you water will grow, the rest will follow. Cause this life's what you make it, and some rules are for breaking. Destiny will play its role, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Doesn't always make sense why some things gotta happen. Fight through the rain, cause you know the sun will follow. If you practice persistence, somebody's gonna witness you're working hard and it shows, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Are you ready to go? I've waited for a long time. I must be out of my mind. Now I'm ready for this to start. When the lights go out, it's so dark. When the moment comes, we'll find the part. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our June Cub Scout Roundtable. I am Vinny Close, Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtable Program and Support for Great Trail Council, and we are so happy that you've joined us tonight. We have a lot of information to share with you over the next hour, so let's get started like we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight just the Scout Law. Here to help us, lead us in that, are Cub Scouts from Pack 3759 in Barberton, and a group of scouts from all over the country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mom, I gotta go. I'm on now. A scout is trustworthy,
Loyal,
helpful,
friendly,
courteous, kind,
Obedient,
is there any more pizza?
cheerful, thrifty,
brave,
clean and not afraid to get dirty.
and reverent.
and hungry. And hydrated is good too.
Scout me in! Scout me in.
Okay, Adam.
Yes, yes, always remember that 13th point in the Scout Law. A scout is hungry always. Always an important thing to remember when you're on campouts. Now, if you have some Cubs who would like to lead us in the Pledge, Scout Oath, and Scout Law, let us know in the chat, and we'll contact you after the broadcast to make some arrangements. We want to welcome those of you that have joined us online. We're happy that you have joined us. Now, to help us track attendance, if you haven't done so already, share your pack number and city with us in the live chat. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, let us know, and we'll get them answered either in the chat or live here on air. Now, if you have any questions about something that you've seen during Roundtable, whether it's this particular episode you're watching right now or a previous one, or you just have a scouting question and don't know who to ask, let us know. We have a very simple form that we've created that goes directly to me to get your question or problem answered. If I can't answer it, I'll make sure that I get you in contact with somebody that can. Now you can see the address right there on the bottom of your screen to get to that form below, and we may even use your question in a future episode. All right, so it's time for our safety moment, and this month we're going to discuss the new Safeguarding Youth Training, or SYT, that was released just a few weeks ago. And we've got a slide up on screen to accompany this, so we'll take a look at that. So, Safeguarding Youth Training, SYT as we're going to start calling it. This is a brand new course. It was just released a couple of weeks ago at the National Annual Meeting in Orlando. And this replaces the youth protection training that we have taken for many years. It's required for all registered volunteers, and it is a joining requirement for anybody new that is joining. One big change with this compared to youth protection training is that this training must be taken every year, not every 2 years like YPT was. The layout, though, is going to be different. The first year that you take it, which for all of us, this is our first year, it is a 90-minute training course plus a 20-question test. You must score an 80% or higher on the test in order to pass the training. Every year after that, you're only going to have to take a 15 to 20-minute refresher course and pass a test. You don't have to take the entire thing over again like we used to have to do with youth protection training. And they've promised us that these refresher courses will be different every year. It will have updated content. It won't just be the same refresher year in and year out. Now, the question you're going to get asked is, well, what if I had previously taken youth protection training? When do I have to take the new training? Well, you're going to have to take it within the next year. So if your youth protection training expires anytime between now and May 16th of 2026, you will take SYT whenever your youth protection training expires. For those of you who have a longer wait and your YPT is not scheduled to end until after May 16th of next year, it now ends on May 16th. So basically, everybody in the country will have taken SYT by May 16th of 2026, because that is 1 year from the date that it was released. Now, I took the training last night. I had to take one for the team and make sure that I knew what I was talking about. It was just around 90 minutes, flowed very easily. The presenters are, with only a couple exceptions, they're all scout leaders like you and me. They're just people talking on camera, talking about the different policies and procedures. It doesn't have any of that ominous music and the doom and gloom that the previous YPT training did. It's much more upbeat, but it does cover a lot of stuff, so you're definitely going to want to pay attention. Now, you can take the training anytime you want. You don't have to wait until your YPT has expired. You can take it now. They've said, Glenn Pounder, who's the director of Safeguarding Youth for the National Council, he has said there are some things that you're going to pick up now that will be beneficial to you even though you don't have to take the training right away. So if you want to go online, you don't have to take it all at once. If you want to stop in between and break it up into smaller chunks, you can certainly do that. It will remember where you were in the process for that. So that is our safety moment, and it is SYT. All right, time now for our membership moment. And tonight we're going to cover summertime recruitment activities. One of the best ways to grow membership is by having a family fun day, and there couldn't be a better time than the summer to host them. Ask your current scouts, parents, and PAC committee to come up with 3 names each to invite to an upcoming family fun day. My PAC just did this last weekend. We did a Touch-a-Truck event, and it was awesome. We had over 100 people in attendance, over 24 vehicles. It was a great time for everybody. Invite former scouts and unit alumni to participate in this day of fun. Youth want to belong to units with their friends, new and old. We see this all the time, especially when they're crossing over to Scouts BSA. They often will go with where their friends are going. Asking a variety of leaders to host or run each family fun day is important so that everyone can enjoy their summer and the responsibility doesn't fall onto one person. Now, summertime allows more flexibility when planning. These can be planned at any time of the day of week, inside or outside, with structured activities or just casual drop-ins. Ask your Cub Scouts what activities they would like to do. Even Cub Scouts know what their friends will be interested in. A few suggestions. You could do a bike rodeo. You can go to a professional baseball game. We're going to talk about that one a little later on tonight. You could have a Scout Olympics, a Dutch oven cooking potluck for those that are good in Dutch oven cooking. Go to a splash pad. Do tie-dyes or some sort of STEM activity. You could go and do a meetup at a library or a museum. Do a discount movie theater meetup. During the middle of the week, AMC and Cinemark do discounted movies one day a week where you can go in and see a family-friendly movie for like $1 or $1.50. Go on a hike. Go on a full moon hike. Check your astrological calendar, see when there's a full moon, and go do a full moon hike. Do a campfire with songs and s'mores. Of course, everybody loves some snacks around the campfire. Have an ice cream party. Do a pool party event. Or do a family volleyball or softball or kickball game. The opportunities are limitless. And remember, these are meant to be fun for the whole family. Now, once you've selected an activity, promote, promote, promote. Through your scouts, their parents, emails, social media, and even peer-to-peer cards. Families are looking for ways to connect their children with others, and this is an opportunity that should not be missed. Invite prospective scouts and parents back to future events. It might take several events for them to feel comfortable. We sometimes call these, what do we call them, Steve? Non-NFAs. They're normal, I was going to say non-scouting, but normal friend activities, NFAs. Continue to host family fun days throughout the year to give youth and families a chance to join and come back all year long. Now, speaking of recruiting activities, Cub Masters, you should have received an email in the last few days from your district executive asking you to let them know when your join night open houses will be. It's important to get that information to us now so that we have plenty of time to prepare and promote the event through our social media channels and to get you any supplies that you need, whether that's posters, flyers, yard signs, buddy cards, whatever it is. We want to make sure that we get that to you in plenty of time. We will promote the event through geofencing on social media. For those of you that don't know what that is, geofencing is where you do targeted advertisements on social media like Facebook, and you pick specific geographic areas that you want to target. So say the zip codes in your town or the surrounding neighborhoods of where your meeting place is, so that you're only targeting those people. You don't want to send out a meeting invite to people in Hudson for an event that's going to be happening in Warren. Nobody's going to come to one of those. So, if you didn't get the email or it got lost amongst the 100 or so other emails that you receive, contact your district executive and they'll get you set up. And if you're watching this right now and you're not the Cub Master of your pack, please be sure to pass this message on to him or her so that we can all get you ready for the fall recruiting season. All right, time now for our first of two hot topics for tonight. And it's a video that we have from the National Council regarding the secret sauce of scouting. We know that some units are more successful than others, and we all want to know, how do they do it? What is their secret sauce? Now, we'll have a discussion after this video with some Cub Scout leaders who can hopefully share some of their secrets. Presenting this video, it's our old friend, Anthony Berger, the National Director of Cub Scouting.
Think about the term common factor. In math, common factors are numbers that are the same across another set of numbers. You can even determine the greatest common factor. For example, the numbers 12, 18, and 24 have the common factors of 1, 2, 3, and 6. Taking the common factor approach, we ask the question, if we take a group of packs that have a high number of families that join and stay each year, are there commonalities that each of those packs have that make them successful? Welcome to Roundtable as we dive into the common factors of successful units, or what we like to call the secret sauce of Cub Scouting. A study conducted by the research department in the BSA did just that. You may be surprised that it had nothing to do with those things that we may have thought makes for a successful program. For example, it has nothing to do with how many campouts your pack does, or even if you hold a Pinewood Derby. What we are saying is that those things are not common among all successful packs. There are successful packs that don't go camping, and there are ones that may not do a Pinewood Derby, or do one that's not a big deal. So those activities are not common factors among all those packs. Now the good news is that there are just 3 things that all successful packs have in common. In fact, the study is true for Scouts BSA troops and older youth programs too. These 3 common things, when combined, make up the secret sauce of successful scouting programs. Just like the ingredients for a recipe, the order you combine your ingredients in is important. So get your recipe card out, and as we walk through how to make the secret sauce. All right, step 1 is to keep it safe. Scouts and their parents expect all scouting activities to be conducted safely. To ensure the safety of participants, the BSA expects leaders to use 4 points of SAFE, or SAFE, when delivering the scouting program. If you have not learned by now, one of the things that we love in scouting is a good acronym. We just can't help ourselves. To help units keep things safe, we created the SAFE checklist. This can be found on scouting.org at the link below. The SAFE, or SAFE checklist, can be applied to any scouting activity. Make sure to visit the page and bookmark it so it becomes part of your den and packs routine. A quick review of the SAFE methodology. S is for supervision. Youth are supervised by qualified and trustworthy adults who set the example for safety. A is for assessment. Activities are assessed for risk during the planning phase. Leaders have reviewed applicable program guidelines or standards, such as the Guide to Safe Scouting, and have verified the activity is not prohibited. Risk avoidance or mitigation is incorporated into the activity. F is for fitness and skill. Participants' annual health and medical records are reviewed, and leaders have confirmed that prerequisite fitness and skill levels exist for participants to take part safely. And then lastly, E. And E stands for equipment and environment. Safe and appropriately sized equipment, courses, camps, campsites, trails, playing fields are used properly. Leaders periodically check gear used and the environment for changing conditions that could affect safety. The SAFE checklist is a tool to help you with safe activities, but there's more to creating a safe environment. Ensure that your pack promotes a culture where each youth, volunteer, and parents feels a sense of belonging, and builds your community where every person feels respected and valued. It's also part of keeping it safe. If you're using the SAFE checklist and your pack has a safe and welcoming environment, you can move on to the next ingredient. And the second ingredient is simply do the program. The vehicle for delivering scouting is the program, and we know that our program works. A study conducted by Tufts University was able to measure positive character development growth by youth who participate in our program. It works because the curriculum and the methods contain key factors that have shown to have long-term positive impact on youth. Using the Cub Scout program as designed and utilizing all the methods to program delivery is a common ingredient among all highly successful packs. So, how do you know if you're doing the program? Well, it's actually very straightforward. There's 2 questions you can ask. What book are you in, and what page are you on? This isn't a metaphor. It's a literal question. If what you're doing isn't in an actual current official Cub Scout publication, it's not part of our program. The last ingredient now to the secret sauce, once you've got the first two in, is to make it meaningful. It's the thing that makes you feel important, that you're part of something unique and unparalleled. Everyone has different reasons for feeling personally connected, and those reasons for feeling that way can change over time. People should feel a constant level of meaning in their scouting experience, and that they have lots of opportunities to feel special. Okay, now that all sounds great, but what can you do to make it meaningful? Think about your pack as a community. We recommend you watch the Cub Scout Live episode on the Scouting Magazine Facebook page titled Creating a Pack Community. It was recorded on February 12th of 2021. This episode will help you understand the things you can do to make it meaningful. All right, now you have the three ingredients for the special sauce of scouting. The key is that this is not a one and done recipe. It needs to be continually used and repeated often. All right, now it's your turn. Consider these questions to spark a conversation with your fellow leaders. What are things that your pack does to keep it safe? What are the things that your pack does that is the program that your families really enjoy? What are things that your pack does to make it meaningful for the families in your pack? What are some things you have learned in this roundtable that you plan to bring back to your den or pack? That's it for this roundtable. I look forward to seeing you at the next roundtable.
All right, thank you, Anthony. So here with me, I have Steve Dahl, who is the committee chair with Pack 3506 in Medina. Before we get started, though, I did want to mention you brought your chartered org rep with you, Ed Martin. He's actually off camera here. I did want to recognize Ed because calling Ed the chartered organization rep is kind of unfair because he has held so many hats within Great Trail Council. He was, I know I'm going to miss a bunch of them here. He was district commissioner. He was assistant council commissioner for a while. He headed up all of the rechartering renewal. Very involved in the religious side of things. He did lots of work with the Catholic Committee on Scouting here in Northeast Ohio. He was also I just learned this recently, he was the national chair of the National Catholic Committee on Scouting, which that's a pretty big deal. And the whole time leading to this is Ed was recently recognized at the national annual meeting last month in Orlando, where he received, you can see that the photo on screen there, he received the National Duty to God Award, which, I mean, that's a really big deal because so few people get recognized for that, and that was a big deal. We're so happy, Ed, that you were the recipient of that. You received the Council Duty to God Award a couple of months earlier, but the national one, and got recognition even from the national organization of the Catholic Committee on Scouting, to recognize him because he's obviously done a lot of work for them. So wanted to, congratulate Ed. If you didn't see our Facebook posts earlier this last month on that, we wanted to give him some congratulations there. So congratulations, Ed. Okay. You as a committee chair, I did some research before on commissioner tools. You have 41 scouts currently registered now. That is good for the third largest pack in Soaring Eagle District and the sixth largest pack in all of Great Trail Council. So we saw the video about secret sauce of scouting, some ways of becoming successful. So talk to us about what is your secret sauce? How did you get to where you are now, where you've got so many scouts? I know it's probably not one specific thing. It's a combination of things.
I don't know if it's a secret sauce per se. We do a good job planning. We have a lot of dedicated volunteer leaders who are really passionate about what we do. We plan out the year in advance, which is an expectation of a pack leadership. We publish our list and make sure of activities. Make sure that we change things up a little bit, but still have a traditional flow that our returning scouts are comfortable with. Lead everything with safety in mind, and communicate. We've just started, well, since I became committee chair, utilizing the tools in Scout Book to send out messages. We do text messages. A lot of our dens have their own text chat along with our leaders' text chat. So we're always communicating, and I think that's key. If anyone needs help with anything, we have no shortage of people raising their hand.
Talk about your recruiting efforts. What do you guys do in terms of, like, where do you go to drum up interest, and then what do you do for, I assume you're doing joint nights, what you do for those?
So we're chartered out of St. Francis Xavier Parish in Medina, which has a school attached. And at St. Francis Xavier, we're lucky enough to have that relationship where we can send flyers out to the school, and they're distributed to the students. But we also have quite a few scouts who are in the Medina public school system and surrounding public school systems. One of our key goals is to improve that relationship.
Yep.
We were able to successfully post on the Medina's district webpage. And what we talked about at our last leadership meeting is perhaps each of our adult leaders adopting a school. So it's not all on one person.
Sure.
And specific, and more specifically, parents or adult leaders who have a child in that school, build that relationship. Try to see where we can help out too. Not just what school, what can you do for me? What can we do for you as a Cub Scout pack?
Do you have any difficulties getting into any of the schools? I mean, we know just council-wide there are some school systems that are more difficult or even downright impossible to get into, and then there's others that will welcome you with open arms. So what's it like in your area?
So presently, with the Medina public school system, they don't want us. They don't want to hand out flyers.
Okay.
They can't do that in the school, but they, like I said, they were open to the district website. But other opportunities like the cooking expo in Medina. The last cooking expo, we set up a booth and ran a little rain gutter regatta, and that was a very popular booth. And I should have brought it with me, but the sales for our rain gutter boats were laminated advertisements for our pack.
Oh, that's great.
With a QR code to follow, and we did get some interest from that event.
That's a great idea. I had never thought of that before. We are actually going to talk about the event that he's talking about. It's coming up again in September. So when we talk later on today about upcoming events, we'll be mentioning that Great American Dutch Oven Cook-Off that's coming up in September. You said that you get in to St. Francis School to do talks. Does somebody go in and do a talk, or do you just have flyers that you hand out? And is it the DE that goes in, or is it one of your people that goes in? How does that?
Presently, it's our Cub Master who provides flyers for the school. Also, what helped us out build up our Lion's Den early was getting flyers to the preschool.
Okay.
So the kindergarten-bound preschool students, sending that home with them at the end of school as something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's good, because we know you can't start Lions until the first day of school,
Right.
but at least if they know about it over the summer, they can start preparing for it. That's a great idea. Talk about your open house, your school, your joint scouting event. What are some of the things that you do once they're there? And then obviously you got to close the sale. You've got your people here. Talk about what do you do, and how do you end up working to close the sale with the family?
So it's tradition with our pack that part of the joint scouting night is a rocket build.
Okay.
We buy model rockets. Each scout or prospective scout is given a model rocket kit to build. This year we're going to add on to our joint scouting night, hopefully being able to secure the fire department and possibly the police department to come by, talk to the kids, and then hopefully have a breakaway session with the parents so that we're not talking about the boring stuff while the scouts are engaged.
Always a good thing to separate them out so that the chaos can go on over in one area and you can do the more calm talk with the parents over there. So do you do that event at St. Francis, or do you go to a park? Where do you? Because I mean, you're obviously going to need a big space to shoot rockets off.
Right. So we do the rocket build at St. Francis. We don't hand out the engines.
Okay.
And then
So you're not actually shooting them off at the event. They're just making the rocket.
making them.
Okay.
And then inviting everyone to come to the next meeting where we're going to meet at a large park
Okay.
to actually fire off the rockets, to present more information about the pack.
Sure.
Talk about popcorn sales.
Of course. Got to talk about popcorn. And a new vendor this year, so yeah. And then what is the breakdown then of your dens? Are the youth, is it evenly distributed, or are you heavier in some dens than others, or how did?
We are probably related to COVID. You know, our dens for the older scouts are smaller, but our tigers and our lions are very big. Our tiger den is 13 scouts by itself. And we were lucky enough to be able to recruit an assistant den leader.
That's great.
To help out with the
I
tigers.
was about to ask about that. That's a lot for one den leader to try and rein in.
Yep.
So obviously you've got enough for each den. How do you handle, you know, you've got the join night, you've got the families there, and, you know, maybe a family, you know, has questions or they've got objections like it's too expensive, or, you know, the uniform is really expensive, or, you know, what is it you do? What are some of the things that you talk about to the families to, you know, address some of those concerns? Because I mean, we see them all. No matter what pack you are, you know, you've got to be able to talk to the families and, you know, answer those questions as they come up.
Yeah, we don't want anything to be a barrier to our scouts. If it's a financial concern, there's the council has a application process for a scoutership. We make sure that information is shared with those who have financial concerns. We've started a used uniform locker that we'll make available to anyone who needs a uniform part. And I think the greatest marketing term that scouting has ever put out is with Cub Scouts: fun, simple, and easy.
Yes.
And our den leaders are committed to that. So if a scout has, you know, soccer and baseball and all that and misses a few of the adventures, well, we're going to find time to make that up.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the great things that, you know, I don't think we necessarily do a great job in marketing, is that, yes, you can still be involved in sports and band and whatever other extracurricular activities you have, and there's still a space for scouting as well. I like the fact you mentioned that you've started a uniform closet at your pack. We're starting to see that more and more at the pack level. I mean, troops have had, you know, uniform closets, uniform lockers for years, but we're starting to see that more at the pack level, which is good, because we know that, especially, you know, the little ones, if they grow so quickly, you know,
That's right.
you might go through 2 or 3 shirts before they're ready to cross over to a troop, depending on how quickly they grow. You mentioned, you know, that you tend to vary some of your activities, but you have some that are consistent year in, year out, but then you try to change it up to keep some variety. So what are some of the activities that you do as a pack?
So one thing that excited me about our pack that was very different from my Cub Scout experience when I was a youth is we go camping.
Yeah.
We go tent camping. And we generally have a fall camp out and a spring camp out. We try to change up where we're going, but still make it in an obtainable distance. Very excited that next spring we're targeting to have our camp out at the Buffalo Naval Park
Oh, nice.
for the overnight on the battleship.
Sleeping overnight on the battleship.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for years. And yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And we always do something with animals, whether we're one year we go to a farm, or last year we had the Akron Zoo come to us and bring some animals and talk about animals. And we have something similar set up for this fall. So something that the scouts and the parents can be used to, but changing it up to make it meaningful.
Yeah, yeah. You talked about, I just lost my train of thought there. You talked about the activities and with the new Cub program. Easy, fun, simple, and easy. So we just finished up year one of the new Cub program that was designed fun, simple, and easy. What kind of feedback have you gotten from not only your den leaders, but also the Cubs, especially those that have been in for a couple of years that remember the previous program? How did year one go?
Some were confused about Bobcat.
Okay.
What we did.
Sure, especially if you did it before. You did it once and you were done. Now you're going to do it every year.
Exactly. So how we chose to handle that is we pre-purchased all of the Bobcat loops for the different ranks,
Okay.
and the pins for the Weeblos and the AOLs, and focused on instant recognition. So all the dens were working on their Bobcat requirements at the same time, and then at the same time, you've earned your Bobcat. And just that instant recognition,
Yeah.
instead of waiting for the blue and gold or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's kind of like the old beads that we
Yes.
used to have,
Yes.
the instant recognition beads. So
Yes.
that's a good idea. Did any of the Cubs have any difficulties completing any of it, or was it pretty much everybody was able to, as long as they were relatively active, they were able to complete whatever they needed to for rank?
Yeah, we definitely had makeup sessions. We had some scouts that didn't join until January or February. But
Were they still able to complete it?
Our den leaders, like I said, are committed to working with the parents to make sure that we can get the scouts caught up. So we had 40 scouts on our roster, 39 scouts who were active. So there's one scout who didn't come back but was on our roster, and all 39 ranked up.
That's great.
And we just picked up another scout as a transfer, and we hope to have a good recruiting season.
How is your relationship? I know when we had dinner earlier, you were talking about how your you're crossing over Arrow of Lights. They went to a number of troops. Do you have a troop or a number of troops that you work with as far as, because you have to do stuff with a troop at the Arrow of Light level, whether go visit a troop for a meeting, go on a camp out or some sort of an outing. Do you have one troop that you do that with, or do you have a number of troops that come in? How does that work for you guys?
So also chartered to our parish is Troop 506. And we do communicate everything that we're doing with Troop 506. This past February was a little unique, that we had 3 AOLs that were crossing over. One went to a troop that their family has been associated with for a long time,
Okay.
outside of council. One was
outside of council.
outside of council. Yeah.
Okay.
One, our female, who we've found her a troop nearby, 7507.
Okay.
Reached out to 7507. Great leadership over there. We had some of their girls come to our AOL crossover. They were super helpful too.
Great.
And for I have a daughter who's now she's going into being a tiger.
Okay.
And for her to see older girls with their merit bed sashes and their rank and you know, that's really inspiring for the young girls. I believe 12% of our scouts are girls in our pack. So keeping that relationship going.
Yeah, I've noticed too. We have a girl troop at where I meet, and we see the same thing with the Arrow of Lights. When they see the older girls that are in the troop and they come in and they're, you know, the girls, not to knock the boys, but the girls seem to take the uniforming very seriously. They want everything to be sharp and crisp, and you know, they don't want the wrinkly shirt. Everything's got to look nice. And the younger girls, especially the Arrow of Lights, they see that like, I want to do that, and it kind of rubs off on them, because I've even seen it with the Arrow of Lights. When they switch to the tan shirts, they want to look just the same, and that seems to really be something that carries over. So that's great. All right. Is there anything else as far as your pack's success that you want to share? As far as what are those things that help make you successful?
Overall, you got to communicate, keep the parents engaged, and take a look at what your scouts are doing, and always find ways to improve.
Yeah. I forgot to mention this earlier. So you're in Medina. How many other packs are there in Medina besides yours?
Presently, there are 2 other packs.
Okay, so there's, but is it competition? I mean, are you competing for the same, or do you kind of each have your own parts of Medina that you're trying to pull from?
I don't think anything in scouting should be a competition. It's about delivering the program. If a scout is in one pack, you know,
they're in scouting.
Yeah, they're in scouting. We support that. And you know, Pack 3507, we have a good relationship with. Last summer at Cub Scout Day Camp, you know, my kids pretty much glommed on to 3507, and you know, it's not about boundaries or whatever.
Yeah.
It's scouting.
Yeah, and especially at the troop level, you know, you may find that the troop that you're aligned with, maybe they meet on a night that doesn't work for a crossing over family, and you want to, you know, go to the place that's a better fit, if for nothing else, other than the night that they meet on.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, maybe they've got karate or band or something that, you know, is going on. I mean, I know my troop, we used to meet on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and we moved to Tuesdays because we were finding, especially in the fall, we lost so many kids because they were in band. And Thursday night is practice before the football games. And if you don't go to practice before the football game, you can't march on Friday. So we said, okay, you win, Mr. Band Director. We'll move to Tuesdays. So I mean, that's something that you got to take into consideration. You know, is not just is it a fit program-wise, but where and when do they meet?
And watch to see where a parent may have started an application, but kind of stopped, and pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, because you've got access to that information now through all the electronic means that we have. All right, I'm going to look over real quickly to Sherry Buck. Were there any questions? She's shaking her head no. So Steve, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Hopefully you all got a lot out of what Steve had to share with you, and you can maybe take some ideas back to your pack. All right, time now for our second hot topic, and we're going to cover that challenge. You probably know about this. The den leaders have had back to the founding of the Cub Scouts in 1930, and that is, how do you have some control in den meetings? Now, we've heard the phrases before. Den meetings are like herding cats, controlled chaos, whatever. So we have 2 short videos that we're going to show you that can give you some pretty cool ideas on what to do to help bring some control to your den meetings. Let's have a look at those now.
The Good Conduct Candle is a great way to set expectations of behavior in your den and reward positive behavior. We first start by asking the Cub Scouts what type of rewards they enjoy.
Today, we are introducing the Good Conduct Candle. You guys know about the Good Conduct Candle?
No, sir.
Okay, well, let me explain it. At the beginning of every meeting, I'm going to light the candle. Then it's going to burn all the way down, and then we get to celebrate with a reward.
Yay!
How cool is that, right? So does anybody have an idea of a good reward for good behavior?
I like ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay, great. Anybody else?
Let's go fishing.
Ooh, fishing. I like that idea.
Money.
Money. I like that idea too. How about fishing? We all enjoy going fishing, right? Awesome. Okay, so at the beginning of the meeting, I will light the candle, and then when it burns all the way down, we'll make a plan to go fishing. But here's the deal. In order to keep this candle burning, I need everybody here to be on their best behavior and follow the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. You guys think you can do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So if at any point I or the other adult in the room, if we see you guys not doing your best and being on your best behavior, guess what? Gotta blow out the candle. Understood? Got it? Okay, I think we can nail this, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and light the candle and begin our den meeting.
The key to making this work is to get a candle that has a burn time of about 2 hours. That way, the Cub Scouts see the candle burning down during the meeting and can make the connection that a reward is within their reach. You can find candles like this one at a home improvement store or online.
Very nice work, Scouts. Look at this. During the meeting, we burned this candle all the way down. You know what that means?
Fishing!
That's right. So we'll get in touch with your parents and we'll set something up for this weekend. Sound good?
Yeah!
Okay, great work.
The marble jar is a way to set expectations of behavior in your den and reward positive behavior. We first start by asking the Cub Scouts what type of rewards they enjoy.
Today we are introducing the marble jar. During the meeting, when I see you doing something good, I will give you a marble to put in the jar. However, if you are not following a Scout oath or law, I will ask you to remove a marble from the jar. When a jar is filled with marbles up to this line, the den will get a reward. So let's talk about what type of reward you would like as a den.
Pizza.
A pizza party sounds like a great idea.
Now to fill the jar and get the pizza party, everyone has to do their best to follow the Scout Oath and Scout Law. Now let's start our den meeting.
Great meeting, everyone. It looks like everyone earned at least one marble, and it looks like the jar is a quarter full. Keep up the great work, and we'll be eating pizza in no time. The key to making this work is to ensure that the jar with good behavior will be full in 3 to 4 meetings. The Cub Scouts need to see the jar getting full so they can make the connection between the marbles and positive behavior.
Let me congratulate everyone on doing their best and being good scouts. It looks like our jar is full, so you know what that means.
Pizza!
That's right. Next den meeting, we will plan a pizza party.
All right, thank you guys. I gotta tell you, that one kid in the first video, when they're talking about rewards and he says money is a good reward, I like his thought process there. All right, up next, we want to share the calendar of upcoming training to make sure that you have these items on your pack calendar to save the date. First up, Cub Scout Rangemaster training. We still need Rangemasters. There's a free training coming up on August 9th. It's from 9 to 5 at Camp Manitowoc. We also have Den Chief training. If you have a Den Chief and you need to get them trained, this is an opportunity to do that. If you don't have a Den Chief, you need to get some. Talk to the troops nearby about needing Den Chiefs. So they're going to be offering Den Chief training on the Fridays during summer camp from 9 till noon, and that's going to be in the Lewis Conference Center, and this is free. You only need to sign up for this if you are not attending Manitowoc summer camp, but you still want to have your scout go out for Den Chief training. This is what this sign-up is for. If you're already attending a week of Manitowoc summer camp, you don't have to sign up for it through this registration. You can just go as part of summer camp. We have Baloo training coming up October 11th and 12th at Camp Manitowoc. This is also free. It's an overnight event. It's a Saturday, Sunday overnight event. What's important with this training, we've talked about it before, but every Cub Scout overnight program must be attended by at least one Baloo-trained adult. You want to have multiples on hand because if one of those people happen to leave, you don't want to have to cancel the event because of that. Finally, this is a save the date event because it's still a ways off, but the University of Scouting is going to be combined this year with the College of Commissioner Science, and they are both going to be held on Saturday, November 8th from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that is going to be at Walsh Jesuit High School in Cuyahoga Falls. If you've never been to University of Scouting, it is a wonderful day-long supplemental training event for scout leaders of all types. Doesn't matter what program you're in or what your title is, there's something for you at this. For Cub Scout leaders, I believe, I don't know if this has been confirmed yet, but they have in the past anyway, they have offered the position-specific training at University of Scouting. So this is a great way for you to get in some supplemental training as well as take your position-specific training if you're new to your position and you need to take that training. All right, let's now take a look at our upcoming event calendar. A couple of events coming up. First up are the Cub Scout Range and Target Activity events. These are free, they're adventure programs, and they've started already, and they are going to be most weekends from April all the way through October, and there are activities that you can do at Camps Manitowoc, Butler, or Stambaugh. The next one, we were ready to promote it, but we had to cross it off because it is sold out, and that is this Sunday was going to be the pre-camp swim checks, but if you haven't already signed up for that, all the slots are already taken, so you're going to have to do your swim check on the first day of camp, whether that's day camp, overnight camp, or Scouts BSA summer camp. A couple of district events we want to talk about. In 2 weeks, or a week and a half from now, the Canal District is going to be having their fishing derby on June 15th from 10 to 2, and that's at Little Turtle Pond at Firestone Park, just down the road from the Firestone Country Club golf course. It is free for people in Canal Districts, and poles and bait will be provided by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, or you can feel free to bring your own gear. Also in Canal District, on August 9th, they're having a rain gutter regatta. That's going to be from 11 to 3 at the First Congregational Church of Talmadge. Again, and that event is also free for Canal District members. And we teased this event in my talk a little bit with Steve, but the Soaring Eagle District is having an outdoor cooking expo and Arrow of Light troop visit. So anybody in the area, even if you're outside of Soaring Eagle District, you're more than welcome to come and attend this. But that is going to be Sunday, September 28th from 12 noon until 3 p.m. on Medina Square. They rent out the entire square. All the troops will be there. They're going to be doing Dutch oven cooking, so you get to sample some really good food. The commissioners might be, I get the thumbs up over there, our commissioners will probably also be doing some Dutch oven cooking. So you can come over and talk to the commissioners as well, and we'll have some stuff for you. But it is also going to be an opportunity for Arrow of Light Scouts to come out and meet with many troops in the area in one spot. You don't have to go meeting to meeting to meeting if you wanted to go to a bunch of different troops, but you can do that. And then there was an email address on screen there that you saw. If you have any questions, you can contact Stefania Duffy if you have any questions about the event itself. But save the date for that. That's going to be coming up in September. Just a quick reminder that there is still time to register for Cub Scout Day and Overnight Camp. Remember, overnight camp registration is done at the pack level. Now, only one campsite for one of the sessions for overnight camp is completely full, so there is still plenty of space for your pack and den to attend overnight camp, and there are still spaces available in all of the 5 day camp sessions if you want to attend day camp. All right, new this year, part of our adventure program, are pool parties. So let's look at the details for that event. This is a free activity as part of the adventure program. There are a number of dates coming up at both Camp Manitowoc and Stambaugh. The first one is coming up next Saturday, June 14th, and then there will be days on the 21st and 28th, July 19th, August 2nd and 9th. That is all going to be at the Camp Manitowoc pool, and then it'll be at Camp Stambaugh on August 2nd and 9th. The parties will be from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. If you need to do a swim check, you can go between noon and 1 of those days to do your swim check, Or you can bring this year's day or overnight camp buddy tag with you, and that will count for you won't have to do the swim check over again. If you don't do the swim check, you're going to be stuck in the non-swimmer section of the pool. You're going to be stuck in the shallow end. All participants, whether it's scouts or parents, you have to bring with you the medical form parts A and B with you. The shower houses and changing rooms will be open, and we ask that you only sign up for one session only. We want to make sure that we give everybody an opportunity to do it, but we also want you to register in advance, even though it's free, to make sure that we have enough lifeguards available at all of these sessions. Now, you must register online, and you can see the link for that sign up at the bottom of the screen there. Next, we want to let everyone know about another new event this year, and these are our upcoming Cub Summer Hikes. This is another one of our free adventure activities. And remember, all these summer programs count towards earning the Cub Summertime Fun Adventure. So as I mentioned, it's a free program. This is going to be held on Wednesdays during Scouts BSA Summer Camp at Camp Manitowoc. You get to see summer camp in action because it's going to be all these sorts of activities going on that you can go and check out and see what's happening. So, as I said, these are going to be at Camp Manitowoc on June 18th and 25th, and then July 2nd, 9th, and 16th, and it is from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Now, you're going to enter camp a little differently than you may be used to. You're going to come up camp through the service road, not the main entrance, but up through the service road, and that'll dump you out right next to the dining hall, and you're going to park in that parking lot at the top of the hill in between the dining hall and the training lodge. Then you'll meet at the pavilion next to the trading post. Those of you that have been familiar with Manitowoc Summer Camp over the years, this is the now former location of the handicraft shelter. Handicraft's been moved to a different location, so it's now just back to being the shelter next to the trading post. Like the swim checks, all participants, whether you're youth or adult, you must bring with you medical form parts A and B with you. Sign up for only one session, please. And the important thing is, be sure to get a slushie at the trading post when you're done, because that's a good way to beat the heat and get to check out all the cool stuff that they have over the trading post in the gift shop. Must register online for this one as well, and you'll see the link there at the bottom of the screen. Now, when you go to sign up, you're going to see a mention there that you need to bring with you your 6 Cub Essentials minus the whistle. We don't want you to bring the whistle. You can leave the whistle at home. We don't need that there. Well, what are those 6 essentials? Well, we happen to have a video that explains exactly what they are and why your Cubs should be bringing those essentials on every outdoor activity. Let's take a look.
At every level of Cub Scouting, we want Cub Scouts to enjoy the outdoors. Being outside is an important part of growing up and mental well-being. We know that children who spend at least 30 minutes outside every day are more likely to have a positive outlook. The Cub Scout 6 Essentials are the 6 items that everyone should carry with them whenever they're participating in an outdoor activity. This is a quick review of these items. Item 1 is a first aid kit. Everyone should have their own first aid kit, but this doesn't mean everyone needs to have a full medic kit. A first aid kit for the Cub Scout 6 Essentials should be age appropriate. It can simply be a small container with a couple of Band-Aids and sterile wipes, just in case someone gets a scrape. The lesson we're teaching here is for Cub Scouts to learn to think ahead and to be prepared. The first aid kit that everyone carries can be modified to fit the activity as well. When making personal first aid kits, make sure to include adult partners, leaders, and parents who will be participating in the activity. The second item on our list is a water bottle. As we all know, a water bottle is no good if it's empty. Make sure that everyone fills their bottles before you head out. How much water to bring will depend on the activity. It's often recommended that adults drink 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day. If you average that to 8 ounces an hour, it gives you a good estimate of how much water to bring for your activity. We strongly recommend that everyone stick to water. Keeping only water in your water bottle makes it easy to keep clean and is a good habit. Next is trail food. This too can be as simple as a small bag of Gorp. What? You don't know what Gorp is? Well, this is one acronym that we didn't make up. Gorp stands for Good Old Raisins and Peanuts. This is what trail mix was before it was called trail mix by early hikers and backpackers. A simple mixture of raisins and peanuts give a balance of protein, salt, sugar, and fiber to give hikers a steady source of energy that was easy to eat on the go. Keeping that in mind, trail food is simply a snack that's easy to carry and eat on the go. Make sure to watch out for food allergies. My favorite trail food is plantain chips and M&Ms. Sun protection means not only sunblock, but it also means wearing appropriate clothing, such as a long sleeve shirt, a hat, and even sunglasses. The protection is against harmful UV rays that can harm you even on a cloudy or overcast day. Not only do we want to keep Cub Scouts safe for the outdoor activity they are participating in, but we want to establish good habits. If participating in an all-day outdoor activity, remember that sunblock usually needs to be reapplied. It may seem odd to have to carry a flashlight if you're planning a simple day hike, so why bring one? Again, this is a learning opportunity that some tools are better to have and not need than to need and not have. Today, flashlights come so small, they fit in a keyring like this one. Something like this can be attached to a day bag. The last thing is a whistle. This, like your first aid kit, is something you bring with you and hope you never have to use. The whistle is used only when a Cub Scout gets lost. The temptation to blow a whistle is perhaps overwhelming for some Cub Scouts. So before you start on your outdoor adventure, maybe let everyone test their whistle to make sure it works. If a Cub Scout gets separated from the group, we teach them to stay where they are and make noise. This is where the whistle comes in. Your 6 essentials can be easily gathered and placed in a small container. Well, it's time for me to go. My den is going on a hike. It's the Cub Scout 6 Essentials. That doesn't mean I can't bring other stuff.
All right, thank you. And remember, always take those 6 essentials with you. Just if you're coming for the Cub hikes, leave the whistle at home. We don't want you to bring the whistle. All right, finally, we have one more summer activity to let you know about, and that is all of the fun Scout nights coming up this summer at the ballpark. All 5 of the professional baseball teams in Northeast Ohio are hosting Scout nights this summer with all sorts of cool activities for Scouts and families of all ages and program levels, with some of them including an overnight camping experience. You can see them on screen there. First up, the Cleveland Guardians. They've actually got 2 Scout nights coming up on June 25th and August 1st. There are discount tickets available. There is a pregame on-field parade. You get to parade around the warning track, and you get a commemorative patch for the event. Up next on July 11th, the Akron Rubber Ducks from right down the street here in Akron. They are doing discounted group tickets. You can contact the team and get some discounted tickets for that. They may have some other things that they'll be doing later on that have yet to be announced, but as of right now, they just have discount ticket packages available. Up in Avon, the Lake Erie Crushers, part of the Independent Frontier League, they are having their Scout event on July 18th. That also includes an on-field parade, They're going to have fireworks after the game, and you can camp out overnight in the outfield after the game, as well as get a commemorative patch. You can see the photo there of what it kind of looks like to camp out in the outfield of a baseball field. It's a pretty cool experience. Down in Niles, over in the Stambaugh District, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers are having their Scout Night on August 15th, and they're also doing an overnight camp in the outfield. That's at Eastwood Field, next to the parking lot of Eastwood Mall. And they will show a movie on the scoreboard after the game. Once you get set up with your campus site, they will show a movie on the scoreboard, which is kind of cool. And then finally, the Lake County Captains up in Eastlake on August 22nd, they are doing their Scout Night, and they're just throwing everything at it. They're going to have fireworks. You can camp out overnight in the outfield. They're also going to show a movie on the scoreboard after the game, as well as serve you a continental breakfast in the morning. So lots of choices there, lots of things to do. You see the link there at the bottom of the screen. If you go to that address, that will show you the entire Cub summertime calendar of all the events that are happening. And they will have links there that go, for the baseball games, they will go directly to each team's website and the event page for those scout nights so that you can sign up directly with the teams, pick your tickets and sign up for your activities and all of that fun stuff. So if you've never done it before, it is a lot of fun. You're not going to get any sleep, but it's fun to camp out for the night. The only catch is when you do the overnight camping, all the teams say the same thing, and that is your tent has to be freestanding. They're not going to allow you to put tent pegs in their nice, pretty outfield grass. Kind of a trade-off there, but it's well worth it, and your kids are going to have a lot of fun. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching, and thank you to our guest tonight, as well as everyone who helped behind the scenes. Now, there will be no roundtable next month, as we're giving everyone the summer off to recharge for the new program year in the fall. The next activity that we're going to have will be the district program kickoff events that will be happening in August. Now, you're going to look for details on those in-person events that will be happening in each district. You'll find out about them in your weekly district email newsletters or on the council's monthly Trail Tales newsletter. Now, our next Cub Roundtable will be right back here on YouTube Live on Thursday, September 4th. To close out tonight, with Independence Day now less than a month away, we have a video that was produced by the National Council for the 4th of July event that you can use on your PAC social media next month to not only promote scouting, but to promote the holiday as well. Thank you for all you do for scouting. We'll see you on the trail. Good night, everyone.